3rd February 2025 ก็วันนี้อย่างที่เกริ่นไว้ก่อนหน้านี้ก็คือเดี๋ยวลองพามาดูอะไรที่มันสปินออฟเพิ่มไปอีกนิดนึงสลับกันไปสลับกันมานะระหว่าง Motorbike Related กับ Spin Off Matters มั้งก็วันนี้ก็มาไกลหน่อยแถวราชดำเนินก็จะเป็นเรื่องเกี่ยวกับพวกอาร์ตทั้งหลายแหล่นะวันนี้เนี่ยที่พามาเนี่ยมันจะชื่อว่าMATDOT Art Gallery ซึ่งมันก็จะอยู่ตรงถนนเนี่ยที่มันจะไปตรงนั้นไปก็เป็นราชดำเนินไปพวกอนุสาวรีย์ประชาธิปไตยอ่ะแล้วเนี่ยคือที่จอดรถจะถึงก่อนนิดนึงแล้วก็เนี่ยพอจอดเสร็จก็เดินมาที่ Art Gallery มันก็จะอยู่ตรงนี้ Entrance หน้าผมไม่รู้ว่าช่วงนี้เขามีเทศกาลอะไรหรือเปล่านะแต่หลักๆส่วนใหญ่มันจะเป็นเข้าฟรีอ่ะลองเดินเข้าไปดูกันแล้วกันน่าจะอันนี้มั้งนะตอนนี้ที่มันexhibit MATDOT Art Center เนี่ยมันก็นอกจากจะมีแกลเลอรี่แล้วมีคาเฟ่เรสซิเดนซี่สตูดิโอพับลิเชอร์รูฟท็อปบาร์โอ้ยเยี่ยมไม่มีเยอะนะเนี่ยTrans Hall เข้ามาก็แอร์เย็นฉ่ำดีอันนี้คงเป็นของเก่านะแกลเลอรี่เดินเข้ามาหน่อยมันจะเป็นคาเฟ่ซูเวเนียร์มั้งสวัสดีครับเดินออกไปดูอะไรได้เลยใช่ไหมครับ
อันนี้เป็นโปสการ์ดของงานที่กำลังโชว์อยู่ข้างหลังจะมี QR code ให้สแกนinformation เกี่ยวกับงาน
โอเคผมเอาไปได้ใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่ค่ะเอาไปได้หลายใบเลยก็ได้ค่ะ
โอเคขอบคุณครับ
ตัวข้างหน้าจะเป็นแบบที่ปริ้นเอกสารมาค่ะส่วนถ้าเป็นในแกลเลอรี่ข้างหลังสีขาวก็จะเป็นภาพออริจินอลของจริงเลย
โอ้เจ๋งเลยเดี๋ยวผมขอเดินเข้าไปดูหน่อยนะครับ นะครับมีแค่เฉพาะชั้นล่างนี้ใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่ค่ะมีแค่เฉพาะชั้นล่าง
ตรงนี้ข้างหลังขอดยัดแล้วก็มีข้างในต้องบอกอันนี้คือของต้นฉบับเลยแมเบราดาก็ถ้าเป็นไทยก็คงมาราชาใช่ป่ะแล้วมี QR ให้ดูด้วยอะไรอุกราชราวัสซาอุดี narrating the Mahabharata engraved epics อะไรCalcutta now Kolkata go to British colonial rule in India play a transformative role in shaping the culture and artistic landscape of Bengal โอ้ยอาจจะไปเอาแล้วกันอะไรDefeat of Karma
Printing houses have evolved over the years, with new methods emerging. We now live in the digital age, where computers play a significant role in printing. Yet, even today, we can find old printing presses throughout Kolkata, and I can still smell the distinct scent of paper and ink. Let us revisit that era and examine the printing process. Initially, the artist would paint on a wooden block. This wood was then carved with a tool called a bully and prepared for wood engraving. Preparing the wood took considerable time, as it was important to ensure that the upper and lower parts of the block were of equal dimensions. If the block was curved, it would be difficult to achieve a proper print. Once the block was ready, it was sent to the printing press. The next phase was also challenging. To create an accurate impression of the block, the printer had to align it using small blocks of metals. Then, to secure the composition, the key was tightened, and the block was fixed in place by striking it with a hammer. At this point, the block was ready for printing. However, the work didn't stop there. Each element had to be checked to ensure the correct ink impression. Finally, proof was taken to verify whether the impression was properly formed.
Siraj-ud-Daulah acquired the throne of the Nawab of Bengal in 1756. One of the threats to his kingdom was the East India Company, who had been abusing their trade privileges and strengthening military power for years. To suppress their hold in Calcutta, Siraj took Fort William under his control and renamed Calcutta to Alinagar. Almost 146 English prisoners were imprisoned in a small prison cell, of whom 123 died overnight from suffocation and heat exhaustion. This incident is often known as the Black Hole of Calcutta. In 1757, the Battle of Plassey took place between Robert Clive with the British troops and Siraz-ud-Dowlah's army. The Nawab's army was bound to win, however, when the battle began in the fated ground of Plassey. Mir Zafar, with around one-third of the army, did not join the battle, which contributed to the Nawab's defeat. Clive had made a secret alliance with Mir Zafar, who would later take over the throne. Siraj fled the battleground, but he was later caught and prosecuted by his own men. In 1765, the Treaty of Allahabad was signed between Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II and Robert Clive in the aftermath of the Battle of Buxar. Alam granted the East India Company Diwani rights, or the right to collect taxes on behalf of the emperor from the eastern provinces of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Warren Hastings became the first Governor-General in 1773. He adopted a different administrative approach compared to Clive. He prioritized local engagement, hence introducing vernacular printing in Bengali language. Charles Wilkins, a type founder of the East India Company Press with Panchanan Karmakar, a Bengali blacksmith from Tribeni, created the first Bengali typeface. This typeface was used to print A Grammar of the Bengal Language by Nathaniel Brassey Howard in 1778. The new printing technology revolutionized Bengali society. In 1801, Pratapaditya Charita, a historical romance novel by Ram Basu, was published. This was the first book printed in just Bengali language using the newly created Bengali typeface. In 1816, the first illustrated book in Bengali was published by editor and printer Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya. The Bengali narrative poem, Anada Mangal, was printed by the Press of Ferris and Company in Calcutta. The book came embellished with line engraving and 6 illustrations bearing the declaration engraved by Ramchandra Roy. In 1818, Sangeet Taran, another illustrated book, was published. The illustrations in this book were made using metal engraving. It holds the signature of engraver Sri Madhav Chandra Das. Several books with illustrations were published between the years 1824 and 1834. They were mainly metal engravings, few being wood engravings. Due to the lack of artists in India, engraved woodblocks were imported from artists to print books. Specialised engraved plates from London were used to print the only illustrated monthly magazine of the time, the Bibidhata Sangrama from 1851 to 1861. The publication was an initiative of Raja Rajendralal Mitra. In 1855, Mitra commissioned a special engraving from London intended to depict a Kathak reading scriptures to the people. However, upon receiving the engraving, he was dismayed to find a woman with a headscarf reading to a group of men. The Bethune Society, a learned association named after Eliot Drinkwater Bethune, was established in the mid-19th century. The members of the first council of the society included F.J. Morat as the president, Ramgopal Ghosh and Reverend James Long as vice presidents, Piri Chand Mitra as the general secretary, and Major G.T. Marshall, Rev. Krishnamohan Banerjee, and Devendranath Tagore as members. In 1854, Colonel E. Godwin founded the School of Industrial Art to promote the teaching of industrial art based on scientific methods. The teaching began under the guidance of European teachers who taught modelling, painting, engraving and lithography. On the 24th of May, 1854, an article was published in the daily Bengali newspaper, Samvad Babakar, on the new development of art and education in Calcutta, which helped advertise the school to several intellectuals. The school started its first session on the 14th of August, 1854, with a total of 95 students, sculpture, the rest in Britain. It took place in the house of Ganapata Raja Pratap Chandra Sinha Bahadur of Kandy. The school was shifted to the building of Motilal Seal in Kolotola in November 1854. At the time when education on art was progressing in Bengal, A storm was brewing in the political sphere with the Sepoy Mutiny. The British colonial power was vigorously trying to suppress this rebellion, which was spreading at a steady pace. The first flicker that led to the rebellion took place in Barrackpore, Bengal. It was enough to give rise to one of the biggest rebellions in Indian history. The committee overseeing the art school sent a request to the presiding Lieutenant Governor of the Bengal Presidency, Sir Cecil Beedham, to ensure the well-being of the school. The government took over the school and decided to transform the School of Industrial Art, which then became the Government School of Art. The venue was changed from the building of Mutty Lord Seal to 166 Beaubazar Street. Henry Hoover Locke joined the school as its new superintendent. He introduced a new curriculum designed according to European ideals which promoted the European style of art. The earlier students passed out from college and began their careers as assistants in studios of European painters, or started their independent studios, which gained the attention of many illustrious patrons. Many students became book illustrators. The art of wood engraving is a skill that requires time and practice to master. For fine wood engraving, the most suitable wood is hard, thick boxwood, or Gambari wood. The speciality of this wood is that it does not get bent with time. The cross-section of the wood is used for wood engraving. The cross-sections come in between 7 and 12 inches, hence in the case when larger wood engravings are made, wood blocks are joined using brass metal screws to create a larger block. Artists engraved ornamentations on this type of wood with differently shaped cutting tools. The rule of engraving was that the length of the carver should not exceed a certain size, as a longer new instrument is hard to guide with the fingers. Artists engraved ornamentations on this type of wood with differently shaped cutting tools. The rule of engraving was that the length of the carver should not exceed a certain size, as a longer new instrument is hard to guide with the fingers. His tool was made from high-quality, well-tempered steel and contained a mushroom-shaped wooden holder. As printing technology developed over the years, the relevance and prominence of engraved images declined. However, the few surviving prints from the era are a testament to the skill of the artists and the astounding artistry of the artists of Bengal. In contemporary times, while traditional woodblock printing has seen a decline, there are efforts to revive and celebrate this art form. While traditional woodblock printing on paper has become less common, the adaptation of block printing techniques on textiles continues to thrive in Bengal, reflecting the region's ability to integrate and innovate within its artistic practices.
Dope.
When we think of the Calcutta printing press, William Carey is often the first person who comes to mind. He travelled to Sri Lanka to preach Christianity and brought with him the printing press.
ก็สรุปง่ายๆคือของพวกนี้นั่นคือ grave woods อะไรนะน่าจะมีแค่นี้นะก็ถือว่ามาดูเพลินๆแล้วกันนะดู history ดู art ดูอะไรแล้วก็จะได้ฝึกขี่ไบค์มาด้วยอะไรเงี้ยก็ถ้าเหนื่อยก็เนี่ยอย่างที่บอกเขาก็จะมีคาเฟ่มีแอร์เย็นๆให้นั่งพักก็เนี่ยพอเสร็จแล้วก็ไปต่อได้ก็โอเคนะงั้นสำหรับวันนี้ EP ของ MATDOT Art Center ก็จบเท่านี้แล้วกันเดี๋ยวไว้ผมจะพาไปดูที่ไหนก็ค่อยว่ากันอีกที